Here's the thing, 80% of the recreational vehicles getting sprayed down in driveways across the country this weekend are being damaged by the very owners who believe they are protecting them. You think you are cleaning your rig. The reality is that most owners are quietly grinding scratches into the gel coat, drying out the seals that keep water on the outside, and stripping away the one invisible layer standing between $40,000 of fiberglass in the sun. This is not about a dirty rig versus a clean one. A wrong wash does more damage than no wash at all. And the worst part is that the damage is silent. You will not see it the day you do it. You will see it 2 summers from now when the white panels start to chalk, the decals start to peel at the edges, and a detailer quotes you $2,000 to bring it back. By then the cause is long forgotten, and the owner blames the manufacturer for building junk, when the truth is the damage was self-inflicted one Saturday at a time. Here is the uncomfortable part. Most of these mistakes were taught to you by someone who meant well. A neighbor, a form post, a salesman who wanted to move a bottle of the wrong product. None of them were looking at the engineering, and none of them were the one writing the check when the gel coat failed. So today we are auditing the 8 ways you are quietly ruining your rig every single time you reach for the hose. For each one, I will show you the mistake, the forensic damage it causes, the real dollar costs, and the correct method the professionals actually use. Smash that subscribe button because we are about to save you from some seriously expensive mistakes. And stick around to the end where I show you the $15 product that does everything the $80 RV branded stuff only pretends to. Let us get into it. Mistake number 1, reaching for the dish soap. This is the one almost everybody is guilty of, and it feels harmless. The rig is dirty, there is a bottle of Dawn under the kitchen sink, and dish soap cuts grease, so it must be great at cutting road grime. Right? Wrong. Here's the thing, dish soap is engineered to strip oil and wax off of dinner plates. It does not know the difference between bacon grease and the protective wax or sealant sitting on top of your gel coat. So every single time you wash with it, you are pulling off the exact layer that protects the fiberglass underneath. Think about that. You are spending your Saturday afternoon removing the protection you paid for and then wondering why the finish died young. Translation, you are using a chemical designed to strip protection to clean a surface that lives or dies by its protection. On top of that, the high pH dries out your rubber seals and slide gaskets over time, and dried seals crack, and cracked seals let water in. That is how a free bottle of dish soap turns into a 4-figure water intrusion repair 18 months later. The fix is almost insultingly easy. Use a pH-neutral wash made for automotive or marine finishes. These lift dirt without touching your wax or your seals, and a 1-gallon jug costs about $15 and lasts an entire season. It is cheaper per wash than the dish soap once you factor in how fast the dish soap forces you to re-wax. The professional verdict is this: the day you swap the dish soap for a pH-neutral wash is the day your wax stops vanishing after one rain. You are not saving money with the dish soap. You are buying yourself a faster trip to an oxidation repair that starts around $800 and climbs past $2,000. Run the numbers over 5 years and the dish soap is one of the most expensive bottles in your garage. And that brings us to the tool you are washing with, which might be even worse than the soap. Mistake number 2, 1 bucket and a tired sponge. Picture the classic driveway scene. 1 bucket of suds, 1 sponge, and a slow lap around the rig. It looks productive. It is actually one of the most destructive things you can do to your finish, and most owners do it every time. Here is why. The first panel you wash dumps a load of sand, road grit, and brake dust straight into your bucket. Every time you dip that sponge back in, you are loading it with abrasive particles. Then you drag those particles across the next panel, and the next. By the back of the rig, that sponge is carrying the entire front half of the unit as grit. You are not cleaning it, you are sanding it. Those tiny scratches are called swirl marks, and under direct sunlight, they turn your glossy white sidewall into a dull, cloudy mess that no amount of washing will fix. Translation, you are taking very fine sandpaper to a $40,000 surface and calling it a wash. It is the equivalent of dusting a mirror with a handful of sand. The fix is the 2-bucket method, and it is the single biggest upgrade an owner can make for the least money. 1 bucket holds your soap, the second bucket holds clean rinse water. Before the mitt goes back into the soap, you rinse the grit out of it in the rinse bucket. Add a cheap grit guard to the bottom of each, around $10 a piece, and the heavy particles stay trapped at the bottom instead of riding back up into your mitt. Swap the sponge for a soft microfiber wash mitt, work from the top down so dirty runoff never crosses clean panels, and rinse often. A sponge holds grit against the paint with nowhere for it to go, while the deep fibers of a microfiber mitt pull the grit up and away from the surface where it cannot scratch. The verdict is plain. A bucket of dirty water and a hard sponge is a scratch machine. 2 buckets and a soft mitt is the difference between a finish that shines for 10 years and one that hazes over in 3. Now, if you really want to see scratches, wait until you see what the next mistake does. Mistake number 3, blasting it with a pressure washer. This one feels powerful, which is exactly why owners love it and exactly why it does so much damage. A pressure washer makes the dirt vanish in seconds, so it has to be the smart tool. The smart tool is quietly destroying the most expensive parts of your rig. Here's the thing, a pressure washer pushing 1500 to 3000 PS does not care about the edge of a decal or the lip of a window seal. Aim it at a graphic and it lifts the edge and peels it like a sticker off a notebook. Aim it at a seam or seal, and it drives water past the sealant and into the wall, into the exact cavity that is supposed to stay bone dry forever. Translation: one careless pass starts the delamination clock. Delamination is when water gets behind the fiberglass and the layers separate and bubble, and that repair does not start at hundreds of dollars. It starts in the thousands and climbs into 5 figures for a full sidewall. A new decal package alone can run well over $1,000, and good luck color matching a faded one. The fix is to put the pressure washer away for bodywork entirely. If you must use one for the chassis or the wheels, keep a wide fan tip, hold it at least 2 feet back, and never aim it at a seal, a seam, a decal edge, or the roof. A good rule is that if you can feel the spray sting your hand from a foot away, it is far too aggressive for anything above the frame rails. For 90% of washes, a regular garden hose and a soft mitt do everything you need without gambling on a water intrusion repair that could total a budget rig. The verdict is simple to remember. The pressure washer saves you 10 minutes today and can cost you $10,000 next year. It is the most expensive 10 minutes in the hobby, and if you are finding this breakdown useful, hit the like button. It really helps the channel cut through the noise. Mistake number 4, running it through an automatic wash. When an owner is short on time, the drive-through truck wash looks like a gift. Pull in, let the giant brushes do the work, drive out clean. The problem is that those brushes are built for flat painted trucks, not for your rig, and they have no idea what a decal or a soft gel coat panel is. Here's the thing, those spinning brushes are loaded with grit from every vehicle that came before you, and they are aggressive enough to tear up raised decals and grind swirl marks into soft gel coat in a single pass. Most rigs are also taller than the wash is designed for, so the top of your unit, your air conditioner shroud, your vents, and your antennas take the worst of the beating from machinery that was never measured for your height. Translation: you are paying $20 to let a machine drag 100 other people's dirt across your finish at high speed. The damage is the same swirl marks and torn graphic we already talked about, only delivered faster and harder, and across the whole rig at once instead of one panel at a time. The fix is to never, under any circumstances, take a recreational vehicle through an automatic truck wash with brushes. There is a reason the fine print at most of those bays excludes recreational vehicles from any damage claim. They know what their machines do to a tall, decaled, soft-sided unit, and they have written themselves out of paying for it. If you genuinely cannot hand wash it, find a touchless wash that uses only chemical and water with no brushes, or pay a mobile detailer who hand washes on site. Yes, the detailer costs more than $20. A decal replacement costs more than $1,000. So, do the math before you pull into the bay. The verdict here is short. Convenience is the most expensive thing you can buy when it is grinding away your gel coat. Speaking of grinding things in, let us talk about when you wash, because the timing matters as much as the method. Mistake number 5, washing it in the blazing sun. This one feels like common sense done right. A warm sunny day, the rig is dry, perfect washing weather. It is actually the worst possible time to wash, and it quietly ruins your finish in 2 ways at the same time. Here's the thing, on a hot panel, your soap and your rinse water start drying before you can wipe them off. As the water evaporates, it leaves behind every mineral it was carrying, baked onto the surface by the heat of the panel itself. Those are water spots, and on a hot panel, they do not wipe away. They etch in and become part of the finish. Translation: you are letting the sun fire your dirty rinse water into the gel coat like a kiln firing clay. On top of that, the soap dries into a film that is almost impossible to remove without re-washing the entire rig, which means you do double the work and still end up with a spotted finish. The fix is to wash in the shade early in the morning or in the evening, when the panels are cool to the touch. Work one section at a time, soap it, rinse it, and dry it before you move on, so nothing has the chance to bake on. If you have no shade at all, follow the sun around the rig and always work the shaded side as it moves through the day. The verdict is easy to live by. A cool panel forgives your mistakes. A hot panel records every one of them in permanent ink. Keep that rule and you skip a whole category of damage for free. If this is already saving you from a headache, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's next. Mistake number 6, forgetting the roof even exists. Out of sight, out of mind. Almost nobody climbs up to look at the roof, so almost nobody washes it. Then they stand in the driveway wondering where the ugly black streaks running down the sidewalls keep coming from, no matter how often they scrub the walls. Here's the thing, those streaks are the roof telling on you. Most rig roofs are a rubber membrane, either EPDM or TPO, and when that membrane is neglected, it oxidizes into a chalky film. Every rain washes that chalk down your nice clean walls, which is why the streaks come back within a week of every wash. Or worse, an owner who finally decides to clean the roof often grabs whatever cleaner is closest. Translation, a citrus or petroleum-based cleaner in an EPDM rubber roof eats the membrane from the top down, and once that membrane fails, water finds the plywood underneath and rots the structure of the whole roof. A full roof recoat runs several hundred to over $1,000 in materials, and a full roof replacement can reach into the high 5 figures once you add the labor and the interior water damage. The fix is to first find out which roof you actually have, then use a cleaner rated for that exact membrane and nothing else. Wash the roof first before the walls. So the chalk runs down onto dirty walls you have not cleaned yet instead of clean ones you just finished. While you're up there, inspect every seal and seam around the vents, the skylights, and the air conditioner, because that is where leaks start. The verdict is one you should tape to the inside of your door. The roof is the one surface that protects everything below it, and it is the one surface owners ignore the most. Get up there twice a year and you avoid the single most expensive failure on the rig. Ignore it and you are letting the most important square footage you own slowly rot in plain sight while you polish the parts everyone can see. Mistake number 7, letting hard water dry on its own. This is the lazy finish to an otherwise good wash. You did everything right, the rig looks great. Soaking wet, so you coil the hose and walk away to let it air dry in the breeze. Then you come back an hour later to a finish covered in cloudy white spots, and all that careful work is undone. Here's the thing, tap water in most of the country is hard, meaning it is full of dissolved calcium and other minerals. When that water evaporates on your panels and your glass, the water leaves, but the minerals stay behind, bonded to the surface as spots. Leave them on there long enough, through enough hot afternoons, and they etch into the gel coat permanently. Glass is the worst offender because etched water spots on a windshield or a window can become impossible to remove without professional glass polishing. Translation, air drying is water spotting in slow motion. A rig that is covered in hard water spots looks dirty even when it is technically clean, and removing baked on mineral deposits can mean an acid-based wash or full machine polish, neither of which is cheap or gentle on the finish. The fix is to dry the rig by hand with large microfiber drying towels or a clean chamois, working from the top down right after you rinse each section instead of waiting until the end. For owners in very hard water areas, an inexpensive inline water filter on the hose, around $30 to $40, removes most of the minerals before they ever touch the surface, which means even your rinse water dries clean. The verdict is straightforward. The wash is not finished when the rinsing stops. It is finished when the last drop of water is off the rig. Now for the final mistake, and it is the one the marketing department is counting on you to make. Mistake number 8, trusting wash and wax in one. This is the last mistake, and it is the one the label was designed to sell you. The bottle promises a clean rig and a protected rig in a single step. So you skip the real protection and feel covered. You are not covered. You are exposed and you do not know it. Here's the thing, a 2-in-1 wash and wax leaves a trace of protection so thin it barely survives the first rainstorm. It is just enough to make the bottle's claim technically true and nowhere near enough to protect fiberglass from months of ultraviolet punishment in a parking spot with no shade. Soap and water won't save it from the sun. The sun is what oxidizes your gel coat, fades your color, and turns glossy white into chalky gray within a couple of seasons. Translation, skipping a real protectant to save 20 minutes is how you trade a free afternoon now for an $800 to $2,000 restoration later. Plus the resale value you bleed every month, the finish looks tired. The fix is to treat washing and protecting as two separate jobs that they always were. Wash with your pH neutral soap, then once or twice a year apply a real ultraviolet protectant. And here is the loophole I promise at the top. The $80 RV branded sealant sitting on the shelf is very often the exact same formula as a $15 marine grade wax or a $25 ceramic spray. Smart money reads the active ingredients, buys the marine or ceramic product, and pockets the difference. The verdict closes the whole audit. Washing makes it look good for a week. Protecting is what keeps it worth selling in 10 years. One is a chore, the other is an investment, bringing it all home. So here is the real truth about washing your rig. It was never a chore. It is maintenance on the single largest asset most owners will ever park in their driveway. And the people doing it wrong are not lazy or careless. They were simply never handed the rules that the detailers already know. Stop washing like a rookie and start maintaining like an auditor. Here's your action plan, and the whole setup costs less than $50. 1. Throw out the dish soap and buy a pH neutral wash. 2. Set up 2 buckets with grit guards and a soft microfiber mitt. 3. Never let a pressure washer or an automatic brush near your body panels, your seals, or your roof. 4. Wash in the shade, dry by hand, do the roof first, and protect with a real ultraviolet sealant once or twice a year. Do those 4 things and you will outlast every neighbor who keeps wondering why their 3-year-old rig already looks 10 years old. You will protect your resale value. You will keep water on the outside where it belongs. And you will never hand a detailer $2,000 for damage you caused yourself with a sponge and a sunny afternoon. The difference between a rig that holds its value and one that falls apart is not the brand on the badge. It is the person holding the hose. Let me know in the comments which mistake on this list you're guilty of. And if you want to make smarter choices, subscribe and hit the bell. I'll see you in the next one.